Almost all buyers know the price of a home, but very few know the actual all in cost of buying a home in Colorado. And that's why a lot of people feel blindsided at closing. Let's fix that. If you're buying your first home or relocating to Denver Metro or the North Denver suburbs, this is the most important video you can watch before touring homes. I'm Dre with Homes by Dre, and my job is to help buyers understand the full picture early so they don't feel rushed, surprised, or stretched once they're finally under contract. Today, I'm breaking down the full cost of buying a home in Colorado, not just the list price, the real cost that affects your cash, your monthly payment, and how comfortable you feel after moving. First is the earnest money deposit. In Colorado, this is typically 1 to 3% of the purchase price. So on a $600,000 home, this can be anywhere from $6,000 to $18,000 upfront. Now, it does apply to your down payment at closing, but this portion is due within 72 hours of going under contract. And remember, don't worry, this is refundable if the home doesn't pass inspection or appraisal. Next are inspections. Based on pricing from inspectors that we regularly work with, most of our clients spend anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on general inspection and common add-ons here in Colorado, like sewer scope and radon testing. Now, depending on the deal and the contract, there can be appraisal gap coverage, which is additional cash that's needed for any appraisal discrepancy. Now, fortunately, in today's market, this potential cost is pretty rare. Now, let's talk about closing costs. In Colorado, buyers typically see closing costs about 2 to 3% of the purchase price. So, on a $600,000 house, that's typically around 12,000 bucks. Now, in a softer market like we're in today, seller concessions are common. This is a credit from the seller that can be used to cover some or all of these buyer closing costs. Now, these costs include lender fees, title insurance, escrow setup, prepaid property taxes, and homeowners insurance. Now, if you're relocating, this can feel higher than other states. Colorado often collects prepaid items up front, which increases the cash at closing. Now, the key thing to understand here is that there's going to be money due at closing in addition to your down payment. Next, let's talk about the monthly payment picture. Your mortgage payment is not your full payment. In many North Denver suburbs, HOAs typically range between 1 and 300 bucks per month based on current HOA budgets in both newer and established communities. Metro district taxes can add hundreds of dollars per month depending on the neighborhood. This comes directly from the county taxes and Metro district mill levies. And property taxes and insurance vary by county, home value, and construction type. This is where I see people realize that they could afford the house, but not the lifestyle around it. And that realization usually occurs after they're already under contract. Then there are the costs that show up after you move in: blinds, window coverings, landscaping, fencing, furniture, house tools, basic initial maintenance. For many buyers, this adds up to at least a few thousand bucks in the first few months, and this range is based on real post-closing budgets that our buyers share with us after they move in. And most of these really aren't optional upgrades. They're just the natural part of settling into your new home, but they really get discussed or thought about upfront. The buyers that feel more confident at closing aren't luckier, they just saw the full picture earlier and are better prepared. When you work with me, this is how we approach every buyer conversation. We map out the real numbers early so you can make decisions without pressure or surprises. If you want to see this laid out exactly the way I walk buyers through before we even tour homes, comment buy and I'll send you the Homes by Dre buyer guide. No pressure, no commitment, just clarity and education so you can move forward where it actually makes sense for you. If you ever have real estate questions, I'm Dre. Text me today. I'll see you next week.